Man, that one, that is a credit there. Momo Loan, they're not just giving you money, they are making you strong financially. Momo Loan, that your fallback position, that you're dependable. Go get it. Don't wait, go register today and control your money power with Momo Loan. Momo Loan, extra money for the things that are important to you. Hey dear, I guess you need a little extra cash for those unexpected expenses. Introducing Momo Loan, your quick and easy solution. You with knowledge for a brighter financial future. Momo Loan is your cash flow, extra cash when you need it. Let's go. So don't wait. Get started today and take control of your finances with Momo Loan. Momo Loan, extra cash for the things that matter.
Momo now we say king. Y'all I want your mullet cheese.
My people, I get good news, so enjoy the lowest cash out fees in Liberia with MTN mobile money. Only 2% fee will be charged on any transaction, whether big or small. Cash out today for just small from any of our 25,000 agents across Liberia. No call will grow on your feet for your own money business. MTN Momo makes it easy, fast, and secure just for you. Dial *156# or download the MTN Momo app today to cash out with MTN Momo for just 2% fees. Fast, easy, and secure.
Momo now we say king. Y'all I want your mullet cheese.
We sincerely apologize for the break-in transmission due to power outage, but however, it's been sorted out. And we continue our conversation. Like we told you initially, we were in conversation with Emmanuel Kotu. Kotu is here with us. He's a media practitioner. Of course, we are talking more about the morals of the society and that of the media, upholding the sacredness of the media, looking at the Supreme Court issue with Prophet Key and what precedent was set by the Supreme Court that cut across those who are found in the habit or constant habit of using invectives, especially talk show hosts on the radio and on the social media platforms. So Emmanuel was in flat when we had this power outage. So Emmanuel will be back, and it's good that we talk about these issues because this is where we are. This is the profession that we chose, and we need to uphold the sacredness of the profession. Here we are.
Yeah, so like I was saying before we had a technical issues, what happened is this. Like I always say, I believe in law, I believe in our tradition, I believe there should be decency within the media lens space. Those of us who find ourselves on radio, on social media, the social media is now called the new media. It is part of every activity that we do within the society. So if we as media practitioners are unable to actually tune down our voices or, what the language that we use, at the end of the day, it will come right back to us. And this is why I think that for me, the action by the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia was in the right direction. And some people don't know that this is not the first time it has happened. Remember when I was reading one of our senior colleagues from the media, he was covering the legislature back in the day. I remember that I said Minister of Information at the time, he went on, I think I was on the Radio Veritas or something like that, and he said the government, the judiciary is rotten. And he was charged for contempt and jail. And I think Gloria Mususka was the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. But what people don't understand is that when you say freedom of speech, it comes with responsibility. And when somebody say freedom of speech, it doesn't mean that you should use invectives. It doesn't mean that you should abuse other people. for you to have your word or to have your say. The freedom of speech is for you to be able to express yourself freely. But remember, where your right ends, another person's right begin from there. So I think from my own perspective, I believe that we need to do everything possible as a nation to have a system put in place so that we'll be able to control what we have out there. Because if the media, the way we have so many media institutions, if there's no regulation, I will just sit down there and then I insult somebody on radio and I go through and say in the name of freedom of speech or Adwa Camara, or act of a freedom. No. That act does not give any journalist the right to sit on radio or on social media and insult. You can be taken to court for it. So for me, I think the decision by the Supreme Court was in the right direction. We can sit down and say, okay, Prophet King, the social advocate, I agree, but I mean, there are certain things that you don't condone. Mm-hmm. So we have to really, as a country, wake up and say, for this, we have a direction that we're taking. For this, we're going to do this. For this one, we don't do this. Because if we don't do it, within the next, I'm looking at a space where within the next maybe 5 years or 10 years from now, social media will be all over the world. I mean, all over the place in Liberia. Mm-hmm. Every corner of this country will have access to the internet within the next 5 to 10 years. Every corner of this country will have internet. So imagine if I can go on social media and just have to insult people in the name of advocacy. Mm-hmm. Do you know what you're teaching the other people? You know what you're teaching the other people? And sometimes it's very disappointing that you see how some of our colleagues in the media, mm-hmm. they will sit on radio and using words, and you ask yourself, what kind of media school that person went to? In the name of what? Is it propaganda or what? You're looking for fame? The media is far better than that's what I wrote on my page.
Yeah, taking into consideration, I was struggling on the social media and I came across one who stands for journalists in this country. He's widely known for that. Councillor Tewon Gonglo. He did mention when you were asked concerning his stand or what is his own take on the Supreme Court's decision on Prophet Key. And I quote verbatim, he said the Supreme Court was in the right direction. And he also made mention, that's how I got to know that he's one of those who were part of the formulation of this Abula Camara Act. And he was the one who prepared the legal aspect of it. And he said the part of that law, when we talk about freedom of speech and this one, he said Prophet Key breached the side that talks about you bearing the penalty thereto or thereof. When you cross the line, he said Prophet Key crossed the line by using invectives. People shouldn't look at the scenario wherein you say, oh, the Chief Justice, the Chief Justice is a player into this whole thing and how he will serve as a referee. He said, no, you are looking at the sacredness of the highest court in the land, and furthermore, the moral aspect. So bringing this to our own profession, journalism, you and I know, we sat here, we grew the admiration for the field, not just because we wanted to be heard. We saw professionals. We witnessed professionals. We listened to professionals in the field. And these professionals created the lacking, that we find ourselves now in the media based on what we saw them doing at the time. Professionalism was at its best. But today, after the war, we saw a lot of folks now coming in before the social media aspect, politicians owning institutions, media institutions. Furthermore, we're seeing people calling themselves political commentators, but operating within the same better wave of information dissemination, the platform, the media, because the media plays a pivotal role. this is where people go to get information to make decisions. So based on the information they get is how they're going to make decision. So now we hear our friends, even people who you least expect, who have gone to school, obtained degree, using inverters, sit on the radio and just don't care about the F word or what kinds of words they use. So what you think in your mind as a professional person, this decision has on those individuals who find themselves in that scene line as Prophet Key.
So I think for me, people who go about using invectives they lack words. When people resort to insult, it means they have no other thing. They lack words. When somebody get angry and there's no better way to express themselves, they are lacking word. That's when they start to use invectives. Once that person has word to say, they will not resort to insult. So, for me, being a professional media practitioner, it doesn't mean that you should be the most popular person or the most followed person. It means you should do the right thing. And most of our brothers and sisters now are doing it for fame. They're doing it for followers. How many person going to watch me? I didn't learn it from you. I mean, what impact are you making within your society if you have 1 million people following you and all you do is sit on radio, insult other people, and I don't believe in sending as PR for any political party or individuals. That's why I like to do my professional work. You can sit on the radio and then use invectives in the name of I got plenty of people following me. If I'm the most popular person, hey, you gotta slow down. For me, all of us who find ourselves within the media lens space, we have to be very careful. And honestly speaking, I posted something. I said the way that Prophet Key has been taken to court, some of those media people who sit down on the radio and insult, they should watch their back. Because the court does not go looking for cases. You understand? Mm-hmm. Somebody can say, Rufus was on the radio, Rufus said these things, and I'll take Rufus to court. Not because of freedom of speech. It means that you cannot be here for slander or libel. Once you sit on that can insult, the one that can tell politicians and or hold them or take this. Some people can even talk to the president. They don't have no respect for the president. They can talk to pastors. They don't have respect for pastors. They don't have respect for imam, deacon. They can insult everybody in the name of media freedom. That's why I said those who are misguided. And sometimes too, it has to do with your upbringing. Mm-hmm. Where I come from, there's no way I, Emmanuel Kotu, whether on radio or off the radio, I will go and sit and start to insult our leaders. I can criticize leaders. I can say this is not right, this is not right, this is not right. But I will not be the one to be using invectives on them on air, where people are listening to me. People have so much respect for me, right? Mm-hmm. I've had some disagreement with some of my colleagues, like Alosha. I disagree with him.
Yeah.
When you went to how do you call the place?
To Starbase.
To Starbase. I said, Alosha, you should have won at the war for a story that you were doing live Facebook Live for. If you would have just taken away that Facebook and everything, because you have that would have been an award-winning story.
Yeah.
Because
information. Yeah.
You know, you were like, oh, baby, you and all you that, you know, all that all can be done. I said, no. The reason I'm blasting you because I know you. There are certain things we have to just look at and say, this is it. I'm not perfect. I got my own set, limitation. Mm-hmm. But you should have a line. You say, with all my flaws, I can't cross the other line. And this is what some of our friends have not been able to do. Mm-hmm. I have been in a position where somebody has asked me when I was at school, right? After I left, there are so many institutions that came after me. And I look at what they were doing. They say, oh, man, you can come, we'll give you this one. I'm like, you want to pay me 500, 600, or 1,000 because we're in a political season for me to go sit and start talking politics and be insulting people and be talking down on people. After that, 2 or 3 months, what becomes of me?
Vulnerable.
But how many person in the media thinking like that tomorrow come? The person see 1,000 naira, say, we'll give you 1,000 naira. We'll give you a scratch card 150 every month beside your 1,000 naira. Plenty people will go after him. And I said to the person, no, I don't want that money now. Because tomorrow after the election, what become of me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But how many of us waiting to do that? How many are waiting to do that? This is the issue we are faced with in this country. And we really need to sit back. I still strongly believe if they have the president of Liberia, the Minister of Information, right? And even the legislature, we can sit down and craft the way that in Liberia, before you get on radio, the same broadcast journalist, you should have gone through a test and then you've been certificated or you've been
just what they do to the medical people.
Yeah,
test.
So that you know that
even the lawyers
before you graduate, you have signed that or you're taking an oath that I will protect the profession to this level. If I don't, this is what should be revoked. But if we cannot get to that particular one, we're still thinking about the other countries, the Western world, where they have freedom of speech for media people and things like that. But bro, this country will be where we are. The highest bidder will influence the media. The highest bidder will influence the media. In that, if I come today and I say, Aloysius, my man, why are you level? I say, pro, why you say pro? I say, oh man, you know what? Credit text. I give you 5,000. I say to my man, deal with the person. Have you listened to radio? Somebody talking.
What of it all?
What of it all? Like they're having like the person been having problem. You get no problem. You go buy somebody's case. Then you say it's crazy, right?
What's of it all? I have not seen even whole 5,000 before, right? And then it's so. I mean, the entire media space right now is so.
So guys, what you think can be done to actually bring some sanity to this process? Because the media, I always say to people, plays a pivotal role in the transformation of every country. Take, for instance, Ghana. You and I have been there. We know what it is. But the picture Ghanaian media put out there about Ghana, in reality, there are things that are happening that you don't even know about. But these things are even prevalent within the Ghanaian setting. But the media is not because they build the image. It is from the media the outsider get to know what's happening in your country. No one is saying that you should be a praise singer, but you're looking at the integrity of the motherland. What picture are you painting in the minds of those who have not been to Ghana before? What picture are you painting in the minds of people who have not been to Liberia before? So what can be done to bring sanity to this whole process?
So talking about Ghana, before I go to what can be done, let me just give an example of Ghana. I lived in Ghana for more than 15 years. I went to Ghana, I was in the 4th grade. I graduated from high school, got my first degree, everything from Ghana. There's rule of law that we need to practice. In abroad, we can just get out and just talk anyhow. We say that freedom of speech. That's the first thing we have to do, implementation of the rule of law in this country. Whether you're on the radio or not. Now, let me give an example. The late president of Ghana, John Rowland, when his house got burned, there was a guy who went on radio. He said he knew that the former president burned his house. He was on radio talking. In fact, there were some documents that I think that was in the possession of President Rowland didn't want for anybody to know. That's why he burned his house. You know what happened to him? There's freedom of speech in Ghana. While he was talking, the one who call it abroad, NSA, right? Mm-hmm. Or the CID, they brought a paper and packed right in front of the radio station. After the discussion on the radio, they went and asked the producer they want a copy of the discussion. Saying this guy know that Rowland burned his house, we agree with you. Let's go to the Central so that you can be able to give us more information as to how he burned his house. They arrested him. It's a person of interest because he knows the president burned his house. Again, what happened? All the other people that want to open their mouth and get torn out. You see what happened in the Capitol building? Somebody can say on the radio, oh no, they burned that building. Those people need to be arrested. They're not freedom of speech. If you say you know the person that did this,
you're a person of interest.
You're a person of interest. So this guy came on at the end of the night, he started calling people to back. He said, "Oh, you want to talk?" It's not about freedom of speech. You don't just talk anyhow. So the first thing we have to do in this country is education for the media practitioner. A lot of our brothers and sisters need training. If people are not trained to understand, not because you have loud mouth, then you can sit on radio and talk. That's the first thing. We need to have training. And the next thing that we need to do to bring down these things is we have to look at the compensation for the media practitioners. How much is the person earning on the radio that they want to rate their integrity? If I come here and I think I'm going to take my first place, and a politician or somebody just pass by and just say, "My man, hold it here." What that person does wrong or whatever, I will go on the radio and start talking for them because the person holding my belly. Yeah. The next thing we have to look at is the ownership of the radio institution within our country, Liberia. And people will say, "Oh, you're trying to play censorship." No. Who is going to be establishing a radio station? What is their intent? Those radio stations or the radio station we have, they need to be monitored by the government and the Ministry of Information along with the President of Liberia. We have to look at those aspects of it. The first thing I said, education is very important. We want to control what is being said on the radio. When people are refined, their thinking will become different. Mm-hmm. That they will not go on radio and start to use invectives and start to be like you like PR or you propagandist for somebody. The next thing is that if I'm working here and I'm getting something good that can sustain me and my family, it becomes a responsibility for me that I will hold it on sacred that I don't want to do anything to damage it. Because if I know that I'm working for Love FM and Love FM is paying good money, I will not consider Love FM flower and start doing foolishness. The next thing is the ownership of the institution. Who owns the institution? Who monitors the institution? So these things need to be put in place. Somebody will say censorship. I agree that censorship. But if you want to bring sanity in the media, I strongly believe those 4 cardinal things I mentioned for the friend we're just discussing. The first one is that we should have people taking tests. That's how you can take the bar test for you to be called to the Supreme Court. You can take the CPA test for you to be certified as a certified accountant, right? They go to the nurses or whatever, they take exams.
Stable test.
For you to be admitted. Once we have those things put in place, and we have educated people are paid well, and the government is monitoring to see who is what they intend. Everybody go by what they have. definitely you have good system.
This is what we have this as our Holy Bible. I call it our Holy Bible, the creed, the journalist creed. I always love to read it when I'm talking about this. It says, I believe in the profession of journalism. I believe that the public journal is a public trust, that all connected with it are to the full measure of their responsibility. Trustees for the public, that acceptance of a lesser service than the public service is a betrayal of this trust. I believe that clear thinking and clear statement, accuracy and fairness are fundamental to good journalism. I believe that the journalist should write only what he holds in his heart to be true. I believe that suppression of the news for any consideration other than the welfare of society is indefensible. And let me start this by it says, I believe that no one should write as a journalist what he will not say as a gentleman. That bribery by one's own pocketbook is as much to be avoided as bribery by the pocketbook of another. That individual responsibility may not be escaped by pleading another's instructions or others' dividend. You see? So we hold the public trust.
So that creed that you just read, were you given certificate after you said I refer to
No.
Were you given certificate to say
No.
if I don't go back with the creed, this thing should be revoked?
No.
That's where we are. Journalism is free. All what
Very.
But I think to bring sanity to the way we have radio, plenty all over the place, social media, people just talking anyhow. If care is not taken.
But even the great channel, where technology is at its best, you don't just use the social media anyhow.
You don't use it. They control what you say. What happened in Rwanda? Our freedom of speech. It was freedom of speech that led to the killing of 400,000 human beings.
Yeah, Radio Kingali.
It was freedom of speech. It was freedom of speech that was being done irresponsibly. That's why we have the Article 15 of the Constitution of Liberia says you have freedom of speech, but it comes with responsibility. Whatever you say, you can be held liable for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that the creed is good. I mean, everybody can, we can all read it and sound like, oh yeah, but at the end of the day, there's nothing binding me to hold out in. Any lawyer now, you tell people say they will take it from the bar. They can come there. Check. Medical practitioner, they have the medical and dental council, right?
Yeah. You have the stable test.
Yeah. So you see there's a restriction over there. So people say, so I see some of our brothers on the radio. Prophet Key was right. I have nothing against Prophet Key, but the thing is, there should be certain things that should be laid to rest before you get out. Other people I see people yesterday I watching something online. People are abusing the Chief Justice. Those people can only do it outside of the jurisdiction of Liberia.
The better wave of Liberia.
Yeah. But you can't do it. Who will arrest you? If you're a journalist, you must be arrested. For me, I can't reach my word on that one. Any radio practitioner, any journalist, because I believe those who are the true journalists are not being seen because of the irresponsible journalists that we have. That can go on radio and talk anyhow. And those are the ones that people follow.
And it boils down to the society now. This is what our society accepts.
It's not the society. This is what some people get it. I mean, I want to disagree with that one for you. First. We have a system that we don't know. The media set the agenda for the society.
Yeah.
But we don't know it. We say, I want the society to accept. No. If you come on your radio, you talk positive and talk with a clean language, the next person on, everybody in the country will go by that direction. But when you sit on the radio, you say this. You know what people let me listen to? Somebody with different community will talk. They say, no. I heard it from Rufus. It is how well the people trust you that you can set their agenda.
The credibility.
Mm-hmm. We don't know that in our bureau. We don't know that the radio or the media can set the agenda for the day. People are not aware. is done unconsciously. That's why when you're driving to work in the morning, what you listen to become the agenda of the day. So if every day I wake up in the morning and I listen to radio, people are insulting, it becomes like
The pattern.
a pattern. Until we, the media practitioner, can begin to understand that we set the agenda for discussion and idea within our society, will be where we are. Because the media role is what? Educate, inform, and entertain.
But the
Door. It's just like a worker union, but it's not being considered like a professional institution. Like I say, I want to compare the press union to the Labrador Bar, you know,
Okay.
or that of the Medical Dental Council, right? Whatever you call it.
yeah.
Those people, they get teeth that they can bite. That if you go contrary to the law, the bar can write I think the Supreme Court, right? They can recommend that this person be removed, and they can suspend even your law.
We saw one point in time, Rinkin's rights. He was suspended for I don't know how many years.
And you know,
He was not practicing.
in the court right now, the one to go and say that what was say the lawyer are corrupt, and then look at me laughing. You know, when you say lawyer is corrupt and you get evidence, you can go to the Supreme Court, you get paid for you to write something, and they ever found the court cannot practice. You know that one.
It happened that in the case of Rinkin, right, where he had a land case, and that case was brought to him, and there was this misapplication and misjudgment. And when the person took the complaint to the court, the Supreme Court, and what the matter was looked into, that how he was made to pay to restitute the money, and then he was suspended.
Can the president of Liberia recommend to the information ministry and say, "You might continue to not practice on radio in Liberia"?
Where's that?
It's a two-flat bulldog. We need to empower them.
So I think.
And that can only happen when you have lessons and everything is in place. But I can just go and say, I'm member of the president of Liberia. My man Julia Kanaba, I can blast anything I want to blast him. Because the institution is a two-flat bulldog. We're not there to say we condemn to the strongest thing. So this institution needs to be empowered. People who are certificated, when you are in in Ghana, right? I live in Ghana all of my life, so I like to talk about Ghana. When you are a practicing journalism, right? You have it's not like they don't give you a license in the same way that Liberia, but you have the GJA, Ghana Journalists Association, right? You are given associate membership, just like we have in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And once you start to get out when you're student journalist, they give that when you graduate, you get a degree and then you start working for a certain year. The same way the president, you're given a full membership, right? So that when you misbehave, they can deal with you from that angle. So for now, the press union, the only thing we can do is to be able to how you call it, empower the press union, give the press union certain authority. Take for instance, monitoring authority, and then we're taking action and we're writing against people. If the press union has that authority that they can monitor radio station, what is being said here, to know this person is not in compliance. And then you go to the media commission. If the president can go to the media commission, this is what, and the media commission can go to the Ministry of Information and say this thing is not going in line with what. It should not be like the Ministry of Information can just get out and just say we're going to close radio station. No, you should give the opportunity to the press union, where they have that power
to scrutinize
who are those on the radio, what they are doing. If that is not done, the press union will continue to be a toothless bulldog. And I'm telling you first, in the next 5 to 10 years, every part of Liberia will have access to internet. And if care is not taken, the reason the Chinese and the Russians and Korea and other countries try to restrict the usage of the internet is not because they want to limit people's freedom of expression. It's because of the mindset of the people. We're misusing the platform that we have. We're misusing the platform that we have. If you go on my page, for instance, now I got over 6almost 70 videos on YouTube. Now, my thing is for me to drive positive attention to the country. At the same time, creating awareness where there is a need for government action, they take that action. But go on somebody on the social media. In the morning, they wake up, they will insult the whole day. The next morning, they will insult the whole day. No restriction. So where are we going?
So the whole thing, the press union of Liberia need that regulatory power.
Yes.
And getting to implement the power over her members. And those who are in the space, mind you, a lot of them say, I'm not a journalist, I'm not a member of the press union of Liberia, I'm a political commentator. But you are operating in a space of professionalism. So you must abide by all rules and regulations.
You can't be in a hospital, you say you're not nurse or you're not doctor, so you can't go by the rules that is being governed in the hospital. Even the person that's sweeping, the person that's mopping the floor for the hospital, there are rules and regulations that once you enter that medical facility, you don't do. You can't say, oh, me, I'm not doctor, I'm not nurse. They go there, they say, this information is confidential, this place is where you can't do what you can do. You ask me, you're forced to go by it. Why only in the media that we say, I mean, I'm not a member of the press union of Liberia. Press union of Liberia, or there should be some statutory institution to govern the media, to govern the journalists. That's the only way. If the press union cannot be seen as worker union, where I can join and move. If it's not like the medical and out of the bar, you can join a worker union, everybody worker union, your hands, everybody move from there. Now, how are you looking at that?
I think the press union and the Ministry of Information got to come to on the round table.
So should we
and
say?
Take some.
But we have
some.
go ahead.
I can reverse and take some of the power that Information Ministry has, and then turn it over to the press union of Liberia.
You don't have to take the power. The power of the Ministry of Justice.
Like what you're saying, monitoring, giving people, recognizing, also a punishment on media institutions and also journalists who will go beyond that ethics. So I think,
yes, my take, Jala and Manuel. We have former media practitioners who are legislators.
Okay. Yeah.
Who are legislators, and they are owners of media institutions as well. What are they doing? What are the laws they are preferring? What are those bills they are preferring to come into law so that the media can regain that sanity it once had? That's my issue. You have the legs of DJ Blue. You have the legs of Emmanuel Dan. You have the legs of Tikwa.
Yeah.
And you have the level of how do you call yourself from River Says, with Javon Smith, and all these people.
And you have Emmanuel Dan.
Yeah, I call Emmanuel Dan.
Okay.
What are they doing? What are some of the bills they are putting up to at least have a law that will make the media to gain that relevance it once had?
But the thing is, first, like you said, the code does not go looking for case. Has the press union of Liberia reached out to these people?
I don't think so.
They
have not.
Gentlemen, listen, because when those people try to do something, they go say, they want to censorship. They want to stop freedom of speech. But if it is coming from we, the journalists, and say we want to have amended, we need to have this one so that we can have our own restriction, right? Rufus, to be frank, I can't lie to you, brother. You were one of the best. When I came to Liberia for the first time, 2013, I was doing my internship, right? On university. It was Rufus that talking on the radio. You understand? But when you start to ask people who are very popular on radio, they will not mention Rufus. You know why they will not mention him? Because he does not go that route.
Yeah.
Like other people who can get open about door. Wow, you saw people, they feel like they're free. He said, no, let's go by the book, what we were taught. So, my brother, those people that in the house there, they are working in the media. That was when they escaped. You see, they didn't get nothing, no feature for them in the media. they escaped. If we, the members of the President of Liberia, can write and say, this is what we want. We want sanity within our sector. So we give it to some of our brothers and sisters who have that, ascended to that level of the legislature. Then they put it on the table. Then they will know that it comes from the press. But what we still saying that people, I'm not a member of the press, you're like, bro, but on the radio, in the media situation, I can do whatever I want to do. We're not going anywhere.
Also, what's the parting comment? Time is up, and we've been having little struggles and things.
So my parting comment to a lot of our viewers and listeners is that life is short, and you don't know where you'll find yourself tomorrow. As a media practitioner, try as much as all means to be in a space where everybody will respect you. You see, I'm one person. I get association with the CDC. I get association with the Unity Party.
Yeah.
I get association with ENC. I get association with CMC, Liberty Party. I get friend or I can go anywhere I want to go. You know what? The way I carry myself. But if you put yourself into middle cup,
you're a digital
broomstick. And that's what most of our people in the media don't understand. If you put yourself into middle cup as a media practitioner and you don't respect yourself, tomorrow you'll be found wanting. And I pray that before we go, one of our senior media colleagues is sick. And I think we, as media people, the last time we saw one of our own brother, Frank Lobo, was buried. And I've been told that this man, how you call him?
Robinson Harris.
Robinson Harris is sick. And we also have Aaron Colley, the LMDI.
John Colley.
John Colley, LMDI, John Colley.
For a while now.
All these people are sick. We should not wait for them to die before we say collecting money. If we have time, as media people, those are senior people, just reach out to them, just for them to know that they're part of the media fraternity. And let them feel love at this point. Thank you, Rufus. Thank you, Jala, for the opportunity.
Well, Jala, your parting?
Yeah, Rufus, it was good to be here and also getting, for the first time. And this is my first time interview. You
gotta get from somewhere.
Yeah. So I'm honored. I'm really honored, sitting here today interviewing one of my mentors in the media field. So it was a good time being here, and we look up to the next show 2 p.m.
Well, I always say there are two things in this life you always will remember for: the problems you create and the problems you solve. And Mahatma Gandhi said the difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing will surface to solve most of the world's problems. It was wonderful being here. Emmanuel Kotu was here with us talking about the things that matters to the media, growth and development, and of course, Jala, my co-pilot. My name is Rufus Devon Cannon. Have yourselves a wonderful and God bless day.